then we'll get started. Okay, this session is open for all, so there is no limitation, but all from finance, commerce, accounts background, obviously, because I don't have any other background. What we are going to discuss is the how to give the interviews or how the mock interviews happen. So as usual, I will start in a fashion which is, I call it 4 steps or 3 styles. Are you able to see my PowerPoint slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the types of interviews are 3 types. Okay, 3 interview styles. I am directly posting it in PowerPoint slide so that I don't have to use my whiteboard, and then you may not end up into later on you will be able to get this PowerPoint slides. One is biodata based interview. Okay, biodata based interview. That is whatever is in your biodata, they will ask you the questions. Second is job profile based interview. And third is tell me about yourself. Now, biodata based interviews are normally held in the first round to screen out the people. Okay, because if I have one position and I want to take in the first level some, let's say I want to appoint a CA fresher, and I have planned 100 interviews in the first round to be taken by my junior accounts manager. Then he's told that out of 100 you should shortlist 30, and he's given 5 to 10 minutes for each interview. So based on biodata, he keeps on asking quick questions. And if that fellow is HR, then he will try to check communication skills. Okay. Then here, this variety is used for specialist position. For example, when I was in Gammon India, we wanted a person who knew consolidation, and getting the people knowing consolidations are very few. So some people used to come for the interview and they were not knowing anything for that matter sometimes. In that case, we should know it in immediate time. But the majority interviews are done this way because now organizations have realized that we want to check attitude. Okay, attitude, sincerity, passion, attitude, sincerity. So therefore, you should be a person of positive attitude. You should have a passion to do the job for which the job is being held, and you should be at the most sincere. I'll give you a few examples of people who came for interview and their talk did not show that they were having passion. So like one person was called by me for interviewing when I was with Crompton Greaves 30 years back. I asked him, "Your past CA, what is your plan?" He started with saying, for few years I want to be in job, and after getting experience I want to go in practice. Never say that, because that gives a feeling that this person, his whole mind and heart will be towards how will he get the clients in future for practice? And he may spend more time in networking with suppliers and customers. So never say that. Even if you have that plan, don't say that. Then attitude. I'll give you an example of a CMA who has come to me for interview. It is a blue star experience. Okay. I asked. Now his first 5 sentences, at least 3 times, he used the word unfortunately. I asked him, in how many attempts you passed CMA final? So he said, I passed first group in first attempt, but the second group, unfortunately, I failed 3 times. Fine. Then I asked him, how was your percentage at BCom? He said, look, actually, at the time of BCom, unfortunately, I was sick. So I should have got normally 80%, but I got only 65%. All right. Then I asked him that, did you do your internship? Okay. So when I asked him, did you do your internship? He said that I did my internship, but actually there was no great work at my place where I give took the internship training. Now that is something which we start with saying that okay, I have been always having something as a problem. So all these things should be avoided. Okay. Then sincerity. So for example, one CA came with a intention to join a job, and all his articleship was in a firm where there was taxation. And then you all know how the taxation practice is done. Okay. So when we asked him that how was your articleship experience? Now, howsoever you may be unhappy with that articleship experience, one thing that you should have tried to change the firm. But if you could not, because it happens, you realize it later, then you still say some good points about your firm. Don't say, taxation mein kya chalta hai? 3 years I only wash the dirty linen. Don't say those things. Even if they are not very happy with you, are not happy with them, still don't say those things. Okay. So biodata based interview, job profile based interview, and tell me about yourself. These are the 3 styles, and majority interviews happen in third type. Majority interviews happen in third type. In third type. That is, tell me about yourself. Now the idea is, therefore, he keeps it vague. Whether you want to talk technical on your job profiles, readiness, or you want to talk about CVs, CV points of experience, or whether you want to uh, tell your achievements and strengths, or you want him to say something which is a mixture of all these varieties. Majority of the interviews, he checks your attitude first, than your technical knowledge. So how you present matters maximum. How you present. Okay. That matters maximum. All right. How you present matters maximum. Okay. Then let me copy paste this and tell you what matters where maximum. Here, what matters is technical or explaining experience. Explaining experience matters maximum. Whatever is given in CV. And he may suddenly jump into crossing you on some points. Then in job profile based, your fitment to profile is seen. So for example, if you are interviewed for a branch position, now generally in branch, you have to have a more coordination with the inventory people or the marketing managers. So are you getting along with or not? But if you're talking about a person like a one who has to do legal compliance, he has to have a habit of being sitting in a corner and doing an in-depth study. And here your attitude is checked maximum. Okay, attitude is checked in the third type. And as I said, 90% of the interviews are held on tell me about yourself. Okay. But normally those are final rounds. Normally those are final rounds. Normally those are final. All right. So what is assessed in each interview? Right. Then next thing we should be doing is 4 points to cover. In tell me about yourself type of interview. So one is intro, introduction. Second is education. Third is experience. And fourth is person. So when we explain these 4 things, I call them as interview called 3-4-4-3. You should have total sentences 14. Unless the interviewer tells you, okay, tell me more about this, then it's okay. Otherwise, you should move to the next part. Also, at any point of time, the interviewer is finding it boring, or he intervenes and says, okay, go to, for example, I know one student, not one student, one candidate whom I was interviewing along with the HR manager. He started telling, I belong to Indore and I have shifted to Mumbai few years back and I did my articleship here. The HR manager was keen on knowing his education and how he performed. So he said, that's okay. Come to your educational skills and what you got, what you learned. In that case, you should not continue to telling that I am from where and like that. Then words to avoid. Which words you should avoid? They are all given in my article. Which words to avoid? First important word you should avoid is unfortunately. Another word you should avoid is no. Don't start a sentence with no. Even if he asks you, oh, does it mean that you don't have much experience in statutory audits? Now, there are 2 ways to answer this. So one way is saying that, no, I don't have much experience. No, don't use the word no. You start with something else totally. Okay. So for example, statutory audit requires a specific type of skills, and I did experience them in the bank audits which I have done. So you are completely negating his point without saying no. Okay. Don't use the word small or few. I have seen people saying, um, where was your articleship? Oh, it was with a medium sized firm or it was with a small firm. Don't say that. Nobody is small, nobody is big. Okay. They are successful in their own way. Then don't use the word not. Okay? It shows a negative attitude. Then don't use the word basically. I have seen so many chartered accountants saying, okay, what's your education? Or tell me about yourself. Basically, I am a chartered accountant. Oh, don't start with that. Basically means what? I mean, if that is basic, CA is a very great degree, perhaps the best degree of India. And that you call as a basic, then what more you are going to learn? You have been trained sufficiently. So never use the word basically. Okay. Then don't use the words like I will come back to you, or how much will be my salary. Never talk those things. They are to be talked only when you are given the symbols, or you are specifically asked, or you have a HR discussion. Okay. Then there are many types of things which can make your interview better. Okay. So one of the tip for shining in interview is plan in advance by studying link between your education oblique experience with job profile. Okay. So you should go prepared on that. Then website of organization where you are getting interviewed. Then directors or KMPs of the organization should be known to you. Again, here, do not ask saying what will be my work. Okay. It means that you do not know the job profile, you're just like that gone. Don't do that. We come to what you should go prepared with. Carry a notebook, or if possible laptop, or if possible iPad. Okay. Especially after few years of my career, I started taking laptop for my interviews, and the interviewers were very impressed because those days laptops were new, and some MBAs have started using laptops, so they were putting better impression than CAs. So when you use the laptop, occasionally I'll tell you an experience. One person we were interviewing for a position in mergers and acquisitions. So we asked him, how is your experience? How do you make merger acquisition consulting projects? So he explained that how the targets are identified, how the due diligence is done. And then in the meantime, by working on laptop, he had opened his PowerPoint presentation, and he says that without showing the name of the company, I'm showing you the type of presentation I do. And that presentation was superb, excellent. Of course, he was an MBA. So MBAs already are smart enough to divert the attention. Then drag interviewer to discuss your strong points. Now, how do you do that? I'll give you an example. I was selected in Blue Star. Okay. And I was very good at accounts. I was very good at MIS. I was very good at internal audit. I was slightly weak at finance that time. slightly why, quite a lot. So accounts, audit, internal audit, taxation, I was strong at. And even information technology and ERP, I was strong at. I ensured that no question comes in my corporate finance. I ensured that that questions are somehow avoided, or whenever I will talk, I will explain them the type of issues which come up in the overall interest of the company. Then use the words. Which words are liked by, use the words liked by MNC or Big Fours. For example, are you all aware what is TOC and TOD? Are you all aware of this? Anybody? Tell me the long form. Hello. Do you know the long form of TOC and TOD?
No.
Okay.
No, sir.
Now, what we learn as a, what should I say? What we learn as vouching and posting has been beautifully titled as TOC and TOD. Okay. So if you go to Google and give a long form, if you give a long form for TOC, then test of control and test of document. So this is nothing but vouching and posting. These are the names given by Big Fours to make the wordings very nice. Or risk assessment. Now risk assessment, we were interviewing some people, they were nothing but internal auditors. I also came across, oh, my profile is a GRC profile. Now what is GRC? Are you aware? What is GRC? No? Governance, regulatory and control. Governance, regulatory and control. Now, when we say governance, regulatory and control, I saw his designation. The designation was manager internal audit. I said, if you're manager internal audit is your designation, he said, you know, I actually know that this is more of a, what should I say? This is more of a, not eyewash, he said, but he said there's more of a showing it in a highlight, as if it is something great. तो बढ़ा चढ़ा के दिखाना, जिसको हम लोग हिंदी में बोलते हैं. So GRC profile, now GRC profile also internal audit. But don't use the word internal audit. I do governance, regulatory, blah, blah, blah. That will, you know. Then use the words global. Then use the words gap. Even though you want to say accounting standard, you say gap. Of course, gap generally means US gap, but still use the word Indian gap if you want to say. Don't say Indian accounting standards. Okay. Then a question is asked that how would you estimate? I'll tell you one of the questions. Question. How do you estimate? How do you estimate expense for provision? What is the answer you will give? Let me ask you people. What is the answer you will give?
Based on the previous year's ledger balance and estimated cost.
I think you make very good sense. What you are saying is based on. Yes, please repeat. Milan, please repeat.
Based on previous year's ledger balance and estimated cost, what I'm getting for the present year.
Estimated.
Cost.
Huh?
What I'm getting from the division. Say,
Right. Yeah, good. So now, what is the better way of saying? Assessment of historical
data.
current and projected facts. Right? Historical current and projected facts. So I will certainly see the impacts and trends in quantities, quality and demand supply equations. Even exchange rate and GDP rate may play significant role in such assessments. Are you getting my point? What is a
Yes, sir.
polished answer versus in our language, you know, in Maharashtrians, we call the people Ghati. Some people call us Ghati. So Ghati means not so sophisticated or polished. So we used to joke on that, you know. So how you make your language more sophisticated? Okay. Then some of the places one may have to, what do you call, keep track on latest situation. So for example, somebody asks you, question asked is, are you familiar with stock share market? The answer could be many. That I had worked on investment analysis and I keep even track of latest news, like today NSC fraud having some Mahaguru was in limelight. You know, what are you showing them? That, you know, look, I am very up to date. So consciously do latest trends or changes in job profile offered, job profile requirements. So for example, there was a question, how do you handle, how will you handle working capital management? So your answer starts with working capital is current assets minus current liabilities. Then your answer starts with mainly on the current asset side, there are inventory and debtors. You should also make a mention that the new accounting standards, Ind AS, the revenue will normally be different than the billing done. The figures may not match.
AS11.
Can you tell me now? The interviewer asked me, give me examples where revenue as per P&L and as per billing will not match. Can you give me some examples?
Sir, in a project part,
Huh?
in a project part where my cost has been recognized, so automatically as per AS9 accounting standard,
Correct.
I'll
correct.
have to
Construction,
consider revenue.
construction project contracts.
Right.
Okay. So you told AS9 and you
Hmm.
should also be able to tell Ind AS 115,
115, right.
including changes.
Right.
Okay. But yes, in both the cases, they will be different. Any other example?
Yes, AS11 also, where I have done the billing in the on the last date of the month, but due to logistics issue, material may be delivered in the next month. So in this particular month, I will not able to consider that as my billing.
Right. Last day dispatches wherein the risk and reward, and in the new language control, Ind AS 115 calls it control, is transferred post year end or post reporting date. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? Your GST may require full invoice, but revenue may need
Part delivery.
partial delivery, or rather, let's say split of installation, maintenance,
हाँ, नहीं तू कर
portion
दे फोन
to be charged later in P&L. Warranty in nature of services
Right.
will
Where advance money is
change
collected.
the revenue, or product recall will result in revenue reversals. Then non-monetary consideration from customer. Then the revenue is recorded at fair value. So those of you know IFRS Ind AS, they should be very cautious as to how they can answer such a kind of question, because such questions are asked. Then one of the very common question is, which is your best quality? So hard work, smart work, then presentation skills, communication skills, knowledge, and then passion, attitude, sincerity, analytical skills. All right. So when I passed my CA in 1980, that time, this was the number one quality. And this was number 7 last. Now it is other way around. First choice is attitude, passion. Second need is analytical skills. Third is communication skills. Then presentation skills. Then knowledge. Then smart work. Then hard work. I remember my interviewers asking me question, or I am asking the questions to the candidates saying, can you sit late? This was a very common question during 1980s. Can you sit late? And we used to take a decision based on the person who can sit late maximum. He will be selected. No more that. Then the trend came, oh, hard work may not necessarily be useful. You should also be a good at smart work. Right. Then came the days, but if you are doing hard work or smart work without having the knowledge, then you might do the work which is useless. Then people said, okay, you have a knowledge, you have done the work, but if you cannot present properly, then anyway that work goes waste. Then people came one step further saying, okay, presentation skills, you got the PowerPoint slide prepared by your assistant, but you cannot communicate that in the meetings, then you are a waste. Then came the trend that, do you have analytical skills? So somebody is presenting and somebody is communicating, and you are smart enough to ask the analytical questions on that. And then came a trend that even if you are good at asking analytical questions, are you seeing in the best interest of the organization how you can get that person to produce the best result? And then you reach a best class of a leader. So now the sequence has reversed. Okay. Okay. So 1980s, it was 1 to 7. 1 as topmost priority. Now reverse sequence. Then let us talk about how to present. So data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. Okay. So one person was given a job of doing some report. It was a comparison with competitor. So when he came, he gave the information that P Limited is dominating in North market. Our strengths are West. They have a big sales team, but we have corporate strategists. Strategists. Okay. They have 9 varieties of product, while we have 5. Now the issue is, this report is nothing but a data. So then we said, look, we want the information, not data. So then somebody who was a so-called smarter guy, he came with something like this. Name of company, P Limited, R Limited. That is our company. Then regional market strength. North, West. Variety of products. Products 9 and I think 5. Sales force or manpower, sales force strong, strategist strong. Okay, I can add there, but I wanted to give you a sample. Now we said, look, I am not enough with the information. I want knowledge. Okay, you want knowledge? So he started with saying, at the top, he mentioned benchmarking with P Limited competitor. Then he mentioned regional status, North 50%, West 20%, P and R. And here North 10% and West 35%. Regional status. Market share. Then here he says P is 5 times than us in North, while we are 175% of West, 175% ahead in West. Then he says varieties 9 and 5. They have, or P has, far higher varieties. Okay. Likewise. Then he said, no, I want wisdom. So let's go to wisdom. Wisdom. Again, here benchmarking with P, our competitor. P are regional strengths. North, and then you put perhaps a tick. Okay. Very, very high. Or say 50%. And here North, or even perhaps I will not keep here North. I'll just say North. Regional strength, North. 50%, and we said 10%. Recommend dealers to be appointed, which are, then next is product varieties. 9 and 5. 2 more can be added, and one needs only renaming. While 4 are common. Manpower. Sales force 5 times. Strategists unknown about P. But sales force need doubling, where Salesforce need doubling, where retail market is higher. For example, North. Prepared by Ram Mohan Bhave. Period covered 2020. year 2020. Prepared on say 19 Feb 2020. Now find out which category you fall whenever you prepare a report. Do you fall in data, or do you fall in information, or do you fall in knowledge, or do you fall in wisdom? So the more the wisdom you show, more the utility of yours in the management. All right. So now that we have touched 8 p.m., I will show you all the slides for 10 seconds each. And after that, you can ask the questions and we will wrap up, conclude the session. So this is my WhatsApp number. Anybody can call me anytime. Rather send WhatsApp instead of calling for any guidance. 3 styles of interview: biodata based, job profile based. Tell me about yourself. Biodata based is for screening out in the first round. Job profile based is for specialist position. Tell me about yourself is majority interviews are like that nowadays. And they check attitude, passion, and sincerity. What is assessed in each interview? Biodata based, you explain your experience. Job profile based, fitment to the job profile. And tell me again attitude. Majority interviews are third type. So spend 3 sentences on that. I'll come to this. So technical, it is CV point job experience, achievements and state, mixture. Introduction, 3 sentences. Education, 4 sentences. Experience, 4 sentences. Personal, only if interview is still eager to hear you. Sometimes he may stop. You might say, you know, I have 2 brothers, one of them is the chartered accountant. If he is not showing any pleasance, or if he has experience itself, he breaks you and starts going into question answer, stop. There is no need that you must say all 14 sentences. Words to avoid, unfortunately, no, small, few, not. Basically, I will come back to you. How much will be my salary? What will be my work? How to shine in the interview? Plan in advance by studying the link between your education and experience with the job profile. Website of the organization, directors and KMP of the organization. Carry a notebook, if possible, laptop, otherwise, if possible, even iPad. Take the interviewer to the questions which are your strengths, areas of strengths. Use the words in MNC or Big Four interviews like TOC, TOD, which is nothing but vouching and posting. Risk assessment instead of internal audit. GRC profile, global, gap. How do you estimate expense for provision is the question. So rough short answer is based on previous year ledger balance. Whereas here you are using the word assessment of historical, current and projected facts and trend maybe. Impact of trend in quantities, qualities and demand supply equation. Even exchange rate and GDP rate may play a significant role. Keep track of situations. So suppose, are you familiar with share market? So give an answer. I have worked in investment analysis. I even keep track of latest news. So today you might tell about NSE fraud. So read the newspaper of the beginning and think, where can I quote it? Where can I quote that? Consciously do retest trends or changes in job profile. For example, if you are asked working capital management, then you should also present how the index things figures don't match. Where all the index figures don't match, here are a few examples. Then best qualities I gave you. In past it started with this, now it starts with this and goes reverse. So these first 2 highest. In fact, I need to add one more for accountant's position. Integrity is one more thing. How to present data, information, knowledge and wisdom. Here are the 4 formats. If somebody gives you this, then he has given data. If he gives you this in an Excel sheet, then he has given information. If he has given this with a proper title and with some comments, then he is sharing some knowledge. Okay. Now, far higher varieties are good and bad, we don't know. And here he gives you wisdom. Of course, I am doing it very instantaneous, okay, impromptu. So something can be done far better. So here, then you are giving recommendations also, what to be appointed. Okay. Right. So I am done with, and here you put prepared by, period covered, prepared by, even period cover can be brought in the top. I am done. Over to you for any questions. Yes, please. Any questions?
Sir, one question. If there is an internal job posting, how can I convince that why I want to leave the current job within the company and move to another role within the same company?
Okay. So let's deal with this question. Want transfer within organization for a different role. Now, whenever we want change, first we must see, and we must have seen, that change role has higher growth. Okay. Secondly, that when we want to present our case, we should compare the qualities required for new role we are trying. Okay. In fact, when my persuasion ability was seen, I was transferred to working capital management cell on debtors in Cropter Graves long back. Okay. So make a strong case how your special qualities, which are unique, not available among other people, special qualities can be a great asset for the change role. Okay. I'll give you an example. Me and my team were handling landline in Reliance Infocom. And frankly, more than landline, the action started in a big way in mobile. Now transfer was difficult. So what my team did was, and including me, what we did were identified areas which were not properly focused by current mobile commercial team, and we started working on that. So create link with your present job. Or extend your hand to help people handling that role in crisis or challenges. Let's not call it every time crisis. That proves, to my luck, I got a marketing profile once, I got a information technology profile once, even I was given ERP profile. These are all arising out of some kind of ability shown, that I started creating SOPs, or I started creating balance scorecard, which you are yourself a champion. That proves that organization finds your transfer worth. Now the challenge is that existing boss does not want to relieve you because of your excellent performance. In such a case, create your number two who is as good as you. Sometimes, of course, that creates risk where you may become redundant for the company. So many people out of insecurity do not do it. Therefore, one should join a bigger or global organization. Like in Reliance, if somebody becomes surplus, we were transferring, we were not sacking him. Find his qualities and put it there. So one has to be taking a calculated gamble on that. And that it gives a comfort, and tell the boss, don't worry, I'm still yours and your fan. And any case of trouble, I'll come and handle it. So that is how I can answer your question. Impromptu. If I think something more, I'll write to you.
Thank you. Yeah, this was very helpful. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Yes, anybody else, please? I don't know whether you could see my slides that time. Were you able to see the slides?
Now, yes, not then.
Okay, okay. Then I think I missed out that while I was typing. Have a look here. Yeah. Yes. Anybody else? Any queries? Eagerly looking for your queries, please. Did you find the discussion useful? Put your, please speak out or put your comments in chat. Hello. Vedant, Jayastu, Ganga, Abhinav, Ganesh, Amit, Tina, and Sandeep. Please put your comments in the comment box or speak out. Okay, Tina and Ganga have found it useful. What about the remaining people? Because if you find that something more relevant you are interested in, ask the questions. All right. So thank you for joining. And next time, some people are coming with their own biodatas. And we will be taking their mock interviews actually, if there are people available who give the biodatas in advance. All can come to the. All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye. All the best. Be
Thank
in
you, sir.
touch. ask for as much benefit you want from my corporate experience.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for the
Bye
reply.
bye.
मीटिंग म्हणजे सेमिनार होत.
Right. Let's take a photograph of all. Ashutosh, can you take a photograph and request everybody to come on the screen? I am now
Please
putting
stand.
us on gallery. Jayestu,
sir.
Abhinav, Ganga, Poonam, Ganesh and Amit. Please come on the screen. And Tina, I suppose you are not in the car. You can have mask is not needed online. I'm sure someday, the coronavirus doesn't come via online meetings also. Yes, Ganga, Jayestu, Abhinav, Ganesh, quick. Jayestu, I'm seeing you after many years. That too online. Okay, Ganga, Abhinav, Ganesh. If you're coming, it's fine. Otherwise, Ashutosh, please take the photo.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye. All the best. Be
Thank
in
you, sir.
touch. Ask for as much benefit you want from my corporate experience.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for the
Bye
reply.
bye.
मीटिंग म्हणजे सेमिनार होत.